In the sixth round of the 2026 NFL draft, did the Miami Dolphins quietly add an absolute mauler and road grader when they selected offensive guard DJ Campbell out of the University of Texas? We're going to break it all down as we go over the All 22 to uncover exactly what DJ Campbell brings to the Miami Dolphins offense and if he could be more than just a depth piece. So let's not waste any time. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you are new. And as always, let's get into this. One of the Miami Dolphins' biggest issues for years and through multiple regimes has been trying to fix their offensive line. And in the 2026 NFL draft, John Eric Sullivan and Jeff Hafley didn't waste any time addressing it. After taking Caden Proctor with the 13th overall pick, then basically adding a sixth offensive lineman with Ohio State tight end Will Kacmarek at pick number 87, the Miami Dolphins took another offensive lineman in the sixth round with the 200th overall pick when they selected University of Texas offensive guard DJ Campbell. DJ Campbell is coming off his best collegiate season as a Longhorn, where he only allowed one sack and was named third-team All-SEC. As an athlete, Campbell scratches that Razich a little bit for Sullivan and Hafley too. He's 6'3", 313 pounds, with great length to his frame, including 34 1/4-inch arms, an 82 1/8-inch wingspan, and he also runs a 5.01 40-yard dash, a 2.93 20-yard split, and a 1.74 10-yard split. When you add up his prototypical size, the fact he's had over 2,600 reps at right guard in college, along with his athletic traits and the power he possesses, it's easy to see why the interest was there, especially in the sixth round for the Dolphins when it came to taking Campbell. I spoke of his power, and you really see it shine in the run sets, as he can be downright dominant at times as a downhill blocker. He can displace defenders off his natural physical strength alone. His grip strength is exceptional, and his hands are heavy when he lands his punches. In pass pro and in run sets, he displays a steady, firm, strong anchor. He plays with good, solid, wide base, gets exceptional drive from his lower body, and he's a handful for defenders to take on at the point of attack. He has a real Mauler mentality when it comes to finishing off his blocks. He has the power to succeed in gap concepts. I just love how physical he can get when his nasty side comes out to play on the gridiron. He can reset and recover against power rushers too if he's initially beaten. He can pick up stunts and blitzes. While he's also really effective when used in double teams. Also, because he's a better athlete than most give him credit for, reach blocks, climbing to the second level, pulling, there are areas of the game that are better than I expected them to be when I watched the film. Listen, he's an amazing puller. And DJ Campbell is another high character player with a high IQ that this regime targeted who, has also shown that he can be relied on to suit up and play games as the injury side of the game. It's not been a real issue for him up until this point of his career. And Dolphin fans know from watching their offensive lines fold to injury over the last decade, availability is the best ability in a game that's won and lost in the trenches. I do think where you see the knock on his athletic side of Campbell's game come from it really starts to come from his foot speed and his footwork, as well as his overall agility. His feet can look like they're in quicksand sometimes in space. I don't think he's the strongest lateral mover, which is why he's better off working in confined spaces. Speed rushers can give him some issues too, far more often than rushers who rely on power, I find. You can fall victim to lunging and recovering, and a lack of recovering against explosive, twitchy rushers. That proves to be a difficult task for him trying to take on those twitchy, speedy, explosive rushers. Campbell can lose too often if that initial punch doesn't land too, which leads to bad penalties, which he takes way too many of. He had 10 alone in 2025. He gets caught overextending or with bad balance and loses the rep, and then he takes a penalty. I also think he's a better fit for a power gap offense with some inside zone sprinkled in rather than an offense running heavy outside zone. Well, I don't see much potential versatility outside, I don't see much potential versatility outside of right guard for him. I just think he doesn't offer a ton of positional versatility. DJ Campbell finds himself in a unique position with the Miami Dolphins too, as Jonas Savaianai is moving back to right guard after struggling mightily as a rookie on the left side. While the Dolphins also added free agent offensive lineman Jamari Sailor, who also has plenty of experience at right guard. If Jonas Savaianaya struggles and Saylor has to step in for Austin Jackson, who we all expect to be injured at some point, like he is every year, could DJ Campbell find himself thrust into a starting role? Let's hop into the tape and see if what he brings to the Miami Dolphins offense can really help us answer that question of, is he ready if he has to be thrust into that? Because I think training camp and I really think preseason reps are going to matter a lot for him. So let's go ahead and let's hop into the film right here. And, let's go over one of the strongest aspects of Campbell's game, which is his ability to generate movement in the run game. He consistently displaces defenders, opens rushing lanes, thrives as a puller, and puts together some truly dominant reps. He's a legitimate road grading mauler, like I mentioned in the opening. And even the best run defending defensive tackle in the 2026 draft class, they learned that the hard way. So here is DJ Campbell in Texas up against Ohio State with the 2026 second round pick and the best run stopping prospect in the defensive tackle class, Caden McDonald, lined up over Campbell's outside shoulder as the 3 tech. And you see he just gets his hands placed well and dominates him and throws him down to the turf. But let's break it down a little bit further right here. You're going to see he's going to get a little bit of a chip from the right tackle. And, the rep is over before that chip comes, though, because Campbell's going to latch his hands outside of McDonald's arms and under his armpits, basically. And as McDonald is going to try to start to drive Campbell back, Campbell is just going to use McDonald's own momentum against him, and he's going to win in the leverage game with almost a snatch and trap type of move. I mean, either way, the gap and lane get cleared for the running back to hit, and Campbell just gave McDonald the work. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I love it. So here's a rep in 2025 against Vanderbilt, and look at the motor power and competitiveness on this one rep alone. I want you to count the defenders that Campbell is going to get a hold of. Watch, ready? Here we go. Let's just count. On the first take, let's just count. 1, 2, 3, and 3 gets a little bit of the extra work right there, huh? Holy good God. And I love the celebration out there because he knows he just did a good job. So right here, let's watch it. What he's going to do is he's going to chip the linebacker in a double with the center. Then he's going to take on the defensive tackle who's going to disengage the left guard until Campbell is finally going to clear out the corner to that left side of the hashes for the running back to get some extra yardage tacked on the end of the run. Look at this. What work? This is one of my favorite DJ Campbell reps he put on tape. It's absolutely fantastic, and I love how he knew in the moment with the celly at the end. Love it. So Campbell's natural power consistently shows up in pass protection, not only in run sets. He's a handful for powerful interior defenders, edge rusher trying to bull rush them, and second level blitzers if he identifies them and squares them up. Because he's such an effective puller, and excels at sealing the edge in the run game, Texas also utilized him on the backside in pass protection, where his power and physicality were just as effective when called upon. So right here, all right, this play is an example of David versus Goliath, where Goliath just dominates like he should. Oklahoma is actually going to send the safety at the top of your screen late. And instead of taking the A gap or the B gap, he's going to run straight into Campbell, and Campbell's just going to take that anchor and take on the rush, no problem, just tosses him. Look at that. Just tosses him. I want you to see it from this other angle too. Watch. He literally just takes him on. Like, what are you doing? Watch this. I want you to see. Look at this. What do you think you're going to do with that? And watch this. Campbell tosses the safety to the ground like he's a rag doll. As if he's offended, they would send a defensive back his way. Arch makes a throw on the move. Beautiful stuff for Texas. You can't be sending, defensive backs, 200-pound, 190 to 200-pound defensive backs thinking they're going to take this guy on. So here we are against Texas A&M in 2025. And I want you to watch DJ Campbell be the ultimate tag team partner for his right tackle. Brandon Baker, the right tackle, is going to get caught off balance with the Euro step to the outside, followed by the spin move back towards the inside by the 41st pick in the 2026 NFL draft, Cassius Howell. Watch this. And halfway through that spin move, DJ Campbell decides to intervene right there. And then look at, for extra measure, just gets him back down to the turf. There's that nastiness. See, here's the problem. The problem is Cassius tries to get fancy with that spin move, and Campbell didn't have any work. And he saw this happen, and he just says, I don't think so. I mean, I love the nastiness and the finish on yet another NFL caliber player right here. I mean, look at that. Oof, where are you going? And then the extra little curricular right there. Oof, come on. Man. Now, if you haven't learned it yet, he's stout against NFL level talent. You listen, you already saw in this prospect profile earlier, DJ Campbell hold his own in those first few clips in this video against Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant in both pass protection and the run game. Now we've also highlighted dominant reps against 2026 second round picks Cassius Howell and Caden McDonald, who's arguably the best run stuffing defensive tackle in the class. So those weren't the only NFL caliber linemen Campbell faced, and those were far from his only wins against first round talent. So let's flash back to the 2025 SEC championship where Texas took on Georgia. And watch this. It's going to be a run play up the interior of the Georgia defense. And I want you to watch Campbell pull across the backside of the line to the left edge. And he's going to meet future 15th overall pick, Jalen Walker, and just dominates him. Just dominates him, right? Again, watch this. He's going to get his hands positioned well. He's going to let his power do the rest. And he's going to drive Walker back and put him on his ass. It's a powerful, dominant rep against the 2025 NFL Draft 15th overall pick, Jalen Walker, by DJ Campbell. I love it. Now, you thought Caden McDonald was the only Buckeye to feel Campbell's wrath? During their matchup last season with Ohio State, DJ Campbell let the future number 5 overall pick of the 2026 NFL Draft, Ohio State edge linebacker Arvell Reese, know exactly what time it is. Again, it's going to be a run up the interior of the opposing defense. And again, Campbell is pulling to the left across the backside. And watch this. I mean, just absolute power and dominance on display. Look at that. Look at that. Oof. And look at this. Not only does he seal that, look at, they get a little nasty and he gets in his face right here, doesn't back down, lets him know what time it is. So not only does Campbell see that edge out and win that battle against Reese, you know what I love? Throws that extra shove and let him know who's the stronger of the two. And he ain't backing down from the jaw jacking. And it's about time we added some attitude and testicular fortitude to the offensive line. And that is exactly what a player like DJ Campbell brings. Listen, DJ Campbell, he is exactly the type of player you take a chance on in the 6th round. I'm going to tell you this right now. When you watch the film, he has legit NFL size, power, that nasty finishing mentality, plenty of starting experience against SEC competition, and enough athletic ability to develop into a quality interior offensive lineman. The footwork, lateral quickness, and penalty issues are real concerns, which is why he was available in the 6th round. But those are areas that can improve with good NFL coaching. More importantly, the opportunity for him to make an impact may be right there for the taking. And the Dolphins don't have an entrenched long-term answer at right guard right now. And injuries along the offensive line have unfortunately become a yearly occurrence for this team. If Campbell continues to develop and proves he can clean up the technical flaws in his game, don't be surprised if he's competing for meaningful snaps sooner rather than later in Miami. And I'm going to take the time and shout out the sponsor of the video. And that sponsor, of course, is Prize Picks. Prize Picks, they are America's #1 sports pick app. No matter what sport you're watching, there's no better way to make the action more exciting than with Prize Picks, where it always feels good to be right. Prize Picks is daily fantasy made simple. Just pick more or less on your favorite players' projections and build lineups in a few taps. Whether it's football when it comes back, World Cup soccer, baseball, whatever sport you're into, Prize Picks gives you a fun way to stay locked in on every play while you're watching. And to get you started, they're hooking you with $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup when you use code HMA. Man, Messi, Kane, Jude Bellingham, Mbappe, Lamine Yamal. A lot of superstars left in the Final Four of the World Cup. Who do you got in terms of shot on target, assists, goals? Who do you got moving on and qualifying for the finals? I think we're going to see an Argentina-France rematch. I really do. So download the Prize Picks app today. Use code HMA to get $50 in lineups up to play your first $5 Let's go to HMA. Get $50 in lineups up to use your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Link is in the description below. Again, shout out to Prize Picks. Shout out to all of you. Appreciate y'all. Do me the favor. Smash that like button. Go ahead and subscribe if you are new. And as always, I will catch you on the next one. Until then, you already know what time it is. Fins up all day, every day.